Just think, as I said to you earlier now when we were talking to Pam and Scott there and all that, I just think everyone feels such great relief because it's a happy ending, and therefore anything at all that once that you've sort of settled back into normal life, you realise everything worked and everything exactly as you would hope in this situation.
I was nervous meeting them again, you know.
Yeah, well, I know that Scott in his different way now will sort of register the fact that you brought him a helicopter. I'm sure as time goes on, this story will come to him again and again, and he'll remember little bits and pieces, which is terrific.
It's nice to be nice.
Yay! Now we should give a huge shout out. Now we will just talk about how the events unfold, but we are going to give a shout out almost straight away to the beautiful Damien Sherlock. This is the other fisherman, yourself and Damien. I don't think you knew each other beforehand. No,
we didn't actually.
Right. So we're talking about Tuesday afternoon. The call goes out. The Irish Coast Guard get the call. We've got the Rescue 116 helicopters on the way out. You would have gotten the call over the radio. Immediately you headed up towards the cliff walk, up towards North Beach and up that direction. Or had you already been out there?
No, I was just, as it happened, I was just leaving Bright Harbour.
Right. Okay.
I was just starting out to fish, and I heard the call out. So I banged back in and I said, gave him the name of the boat, told him I'd be up that way, gave him the ETA, about 7 minutes, and I arrived up at the Cable Rock, and I pulled in. There was a yacht there, and Damien Sherlock was there already.
Right.
And I pulled in my boat. Just didn't know what to do really. Just the only thing I knew what to do was just strip off my clothes and went down to my jocks, and I jumped in.
Well, I love the fact we just spoke before we rolled the cameras, because of the sheer adrenaline of just wanting to get to this boy and make sure he's all right. That, you know, as you took off your clothes, you also took off your life jacket and forgot to put that back on.
I forgot to put it. It's a really stupid thing to do. Yeah, I had a life jacket on, took it off, slipped down to my jocks, and never put the life jacket back on. Really, a rookie error. But there you go. And in a situation like this, which I've never been in before, you really don't know what way you're going to do.
Sure. Well, your instincts are just to keep going forward to the point of rescue, that you need to get to somebody, and really nothing else matters in that moment. You know, nothing at all. But I know Damien sounded like he was a little bit more kind of collect. He took a different route to get to.
Damien seemed to be more calm and collected than I was.
Right.
What he done was he moved his boat in further onto the beach, and he jumped off the bow of his boat, the front, and he went up the couple of steps and he picked up Scott. And in the meantime, like, we had him covered both ways, that if a wave did come in, if you watched him towards Damien had him. If you watched him my way, I had him. So without speaking to each other, we knew that he was going to be okay.
Right.
And that was even without speaking to each other.
And the great thing is that Scott himself, thankfully, wasn't hugely distressed. He seemed to, well, from your reckoning, he seemed to be quite calm during the rescue.
Like, after we put Scott on Damien's boat, and like, because Damien beached his boat, he didn't have enough water to get out. So I got the bow of the boat and started pushing him out to sea. So after a couple of tries, got him out to sea, and he was going to head into the harbour until I turned around and seen me boat getting wrecked on the rocks. Yeah. So what we actually done then was we got a rope. All I needed was just to pull it like 20-30 yards, which only took about 2 minutes. And I got it back into the water then, and that was brilliant, because I was able to follow Damien in. Now, when Damien was on the way in, he met the rescue in the inflatable.
Right.
And they took over then.
Well, we should give a very definite shout out to the Irish Coast Guards here. Now, all volunteers, of course, all wonderful. There was five of them all together. I know that I'll get their names right now here: Claire Tynan, Kyle O'Connell, Kieran Bannahan, and Dale Chatham, and Kevin O'Neill. It was 8 minutes after they got the call. They responded. They were out there to the scene in 13 minutes. So it's a wonderful thing that we have in place these, you know, these kind of operations that can react in seconds, really, to a crisis like this. And it was such a huge, you know, example of how these things can save lives and how important it is that we're that, you know, we live in this kind of community, that we have these kind of facilities.
To me now, the RNLI, every one of them are a hero to me.
Right.
At all. I'm actually a fundraiser for the RNLI.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I fundraise for them as well.
I know they're down here on a regular basis.
I mean,
yeah.
I live very close to the sea. At night time, I can hear how rough it can be, and the next day you hear on the news that they were out and it's
Yeah.
atrocious weather.
Yeah.
But they still go out.
No, there's wonderful people in you know, firemen and you know, people with the
All
Irish Coast
walks
Guard.
of
There's so
it.
many
They're
different
brilliant,
people.
absolutely
And I know
brilliant.
that Pam, who was here, Scott's mother, mentioned the fact that Scott Senior was you know, heading out towards the North Beach on foot. He met an off-duty guard who was jogging, and he jumped into the action as well. He was they went searching just to, obviously, to make sure anywhere at all possible that Scott may have been. So there's a real sense between that and the social media, you know, responded immediately.
Absolutely
and a lot
brilliant.
of people in the Greystones
Yeah, absolutely
came
brilliant.
out. Now I will say, just to finish, that I know that there was some damage to your boat, so we're going to set up a donation, because I just think that you need to realise that people are so grateful in these scenarios that anybody's child could be in danger at any given moment, and the fact that we live in a part of the world that you know, we have people like yourself, people like the Irish Coast Guards. The natural instinct is to go and help, even when you forget your life jacket.
Well, well, to be honest with you, now, I'd sooner just leave it. I'd take care of myself, but I'm actually embarrassed by all the attention, to be honest with you, because I'm here now. I think Damien, he's probably busy, but I mean,
Yeah.
he done every bit as much as anybody on the deck.
Yeah,
he really
this
did.
is
Now,
Damien up in the Tish Wines. I know he's a bit shy about the whole thing, but again, it's just that it is that wonderful thing that, you know, people don't do this to be noticed. They do it because it's an instinct in them to save someone that's in trouble.
Well, the only thing that I would say is that if it ever happened to anybody else, and they are on the beach or near the beach, my advice would be to ring the Coast Guard first.
Right.
Because
right.
if the child is in the sea, or an adult for that matter,
Yeah.
is at least have them on the way.
Right.
If he's found
Time
somewhere
is
else,
crucial for them, yeah.
The lifeguard, they don't mind coming out. They would love coming. They'd love to help.
Yeah.
So my opinion is, my advice would be, if you're anywhere near the sea, somebody goes missing, is ring the Coast Guard first.
Right. Well, we'll reiterate the numbers on the piece and make sure that people save them in their phones and so forth. Because you're right, it is a case of, you know, if they're on the way, it's going to.
Well, if people are in the sea, it means,
factor is huge.
again, you ring, you say, we better ring them. 10 minutes can make a whole lot of difference.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It
Time
can
is
make
of
a
the
huge
essence.
difference. Time is of the essence. With the sea, it definitely is. I'm fishing for over 20 years. You have to respect the sea.
Right.
The sea is a beautiful thing, but she'll take you in a second.
Sure. Bit like French women.